so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The lyric scientist thread.
And one. Yes, the countdown that you don't hear before this podcast begins.
Neither should you or anybody else. That's why the one is silent.
The one is silent.
Yes.
Just like
And
the
guess
G,
what? It's getting cut.
the G in lasagna. Don't cut that.
Yes.
How dare you? You're ruining the introduction to the 276th episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast with Jared, Lee, and RJ. And we're so happen to be blessed by the presence of Christina. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thank you. This time it's just me.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
You're going to have to turn the mic that way and then turn it this way because you're
This way?
blocking your face. No, turn the whole thing, that part right there.
This part?
Yep.
Okay.
And yep,
There we go.
There we go. And the cool thing is for those that are listening and viewing, we have kind of a dual setup right now. So we are live here on Twitch, and we're also live on Christina's TikTok channel. So shout out to all the followers on Christina's channel.
They can't see me at the bottom down there.
That's
They can
okay.
see
They,
you
they
right
can. Well, I can see you. In there.
But all the comments, that's where the comments go.
That's
Yeah.
okay. You're still a beautiful man. You're
Oh,
you're a
okay.
very beautiful man.
I'm going to need you to relax.
What's going on over there?
Nothing. I just got off of work. So work, just like most things, I have to run around all day on adrenaline, talking to people about things and lots of money they may have to give me or not. I prefer not because it just makes conversations a lot easier.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, this is going to be like $3,500 or whatever the case may be. Just
How come y'all only have a mechanic there late, like once a week?
I don't have any mechanics there late during the week. Everybody leaves at 5. Anybody that stays after is there either working on their personal stuff or just finishing a car up.
That's usually how it was when I was working at the car
I
dealership.
used to have a nighttime technician that, like a younger man, that just did like oil changes and rotates. But that work, I could only take in, maybe 3 or 4 cars a night, which is, peanuts. And then finding somebody that wants to work those hours in that shift, there's a lot of variables that go into it. But typically somebody that's still there when I'm there late at night is...
Sounds like you guys need Doge because there's a lot of inefficiencies, fraud, waste, and abuse going on.
Yes, apparently there is. Apparently there's somebody that's older than the country. I do not know. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I don't know.
In this day and age, like, look, I'm not defending anything here. However, if there's somebody that's been doing that for a long time and that's our money, just fucking give it back. Like, let's do something productive with it. Please. Just saying.
Even with that going on right now, you got it to the point where so many lawsuits and everything that's happening to where he's not supposed to be doing what he's doing.
Well, I wasn't trying to get into that. I was just
But,
using
you know.
Doge as a
Doge.
just an interjection as far as the
we come up with some-
inefficiency to run over there because I need my fucking car looked at.
I know. And I was like, hey, are you coming?
5:30.
I didn't realize your car was out of commission again.
I mean, it's the same issue that I was having before. That I thought I had fixed, but it's something else, and I need to lift it up and have somebody look at it and move all the bushings and tie rods and fucking the axle in the back.
I will try to see if he's free to stay.
Get that
late
little
Monday.
device that they're advertising now. Fix.
Yeah, that's just for the
Check engine light.
ECU and shit.
Yeah.
Like my shit is some kind of mechanical issue.
We will fix it. Or I'll at least tell you what's wrong with it.
Dude,
And then we'll go- and then-
meaning
and then
we'll
we'll
get back to you in a month later.
No, dude. That shit's hard because there's a lot of like new rules in place because I would have fixed it probably months ago if I could have, honestly. Same with our good buddy, Mr. Joseph.
The
got a
rules that
vehicle.
they got over at the dealerships now, yeah.
Well, it's not even that. When you have new management and who's been for, they're nice, they're good people, but when new people come in, they're gonna try to clean up the mess that was made by anybody previous.
Yeah.
That's just how it is
Yep.
anywhere. And certain things are just like, hey, they don't want us doing this anymore, and it sucks. It does, but there's always good business reasoning behind it, even if we don't agree with it. It's not them just being stern and evil. It's like, hey, this is why they're doing this, and it's like, all right, we don't like it, but okay, whatever. It's the end of the day. We have no control over it. No, let's move on. Even for to take a look at his vehicle.
Corporate bullshit. That's what it is.
It is. I don't
Tell me
like
about
it.
it. I'm dealing with that right now with my job.
Yeah, I don't like it. I always kind of joke with customers. So, it's like, hey, I used to make food. It's a lot more personable. It's a lot easier. Like, hey, I'm making your pizza. Get to know you. Build a relationship with your customer. Your car, you build relationships with people. But then, depending on, there's two sides to this.
And except for the lift. Sorry to cut you off. I was just thinking about this. Except for the lift, the mechanics usually have their own tools, right?
That is 100% correct.
Yeah. So then
That I remember.
I don't understand what the fucking bitching is about.
So where the issue would come in, and I'll just use this as a very vague example. Say it's not an employee. Say it is your car. Say it's in the shop. It's not a Jeep product or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. They will view it as us taking money from the dealership to a degree.
Yeah, but if it's like, say my car, it's not a Jeep or whatever they work on there. Like, it's not taking anything away because I'm not buying that shit.
Well, this is true too. But that's the thing is that people may you may provide me all your own parts, and then you pay my technician under the table. Hey, thank you, Mister, and move on.
Which that still builds some kind of camaraderie, rapport with a potential customer later, because they may like that mechanic and be like, you know what, hey, can you? I'm gonna buy this, and then you know what I'm saying? They're not thinking far enough ahead. I don't think.
No, and we can use that as an example, but I think the real big kicker to it is that the guys that were staying late, helping myself out, these guys have worked on my vehicle, but it was tardiness or not being available the following day when customers are needed. So there's a lot of things that come into place.
That sounds crazy. First of all, I don't know. They're mechanics. They're not going to be on time.
No.
Oh yeah, no. I'm 10 minutes late every day, and I'm not even a tech.
Yeah. It's kind of like being a doctor. You're not always being on time.
Oh yeah. And I will say the one thing I have learned working in that business, I work with some really good guys because I know just like all of us have had bad car experiences somewhere or whatever. Whoever you let work on your car, that's a big deal at the end of the day. Cars are not cheap, man.
No.
And so it's so I do like working with the guys I work with. They really help me out a lot. And so when people were like, hey, have you ever thought about going here for, maybe more money or this or that? The answer for right now is going to be no, just because I don't want to continue to grow in the car business for another 10 years. It's not my passion. Obviously, doing this with him all the time was kind of the route I want to go at some point in time. But regardless, the idea is for Jared's car, I had to go up and just to make sure I wasn't cutting any corners, and I went up and asked permission. I said, hey, my good friend who I do my podcast, because they all know my podcast at work. It's like, I got to look at his car. I said, I know I can't fix it here, but something's wrong with it, and I need to tell him what's wrong with it. And they're like, yeah, just get his information, add him, and then, have him come in.
And now you have my information, so now you can send me a bunch of fucking shit.
Yeah. But you don't have a Jeep product, so you won't get any of that. And your car, all that stuff is based on a bajillion things. Trust me. You're not going to get.
If I end up having to give you my email or my phone number or even my address, I'm gonna get shit there.
No, because basically your vehicle is going to be under my work profile.
No, I understand that, but
if you're not there anymore, someone's going to get his information.
Plus, there's a database. All that stuff goes into one database where marketing department could get a hold of it and say, hey, you know what? Let's send some stuff out to these people to kind of get them maybe to come in here and buy a car.
If you ever get a piece of mail from my dealership.
It might not be mail. It might be an email.
Can he chuck it to your face?
I
I used to work at a car dealership.
Yeah, she's already assuming exactly what it is. It was one of those fucking cards.
Because I worked at a car dealership for literally 3 years with for Honda. I worked over at Mr. Pohanka, right there on the hill.
My baby drive a Pohanka.
Right, and I worked at Honda Bowie. And the thing is that anytime that people are in the service department, that's like honey for us bees to go after these people because we want to buy their car and get them into a new car. And there is some people who are firm as ever. And then one of the sale tactics that they do use is that when you go and have your vehicle done and you go get a courtesy vehicle, they purposely put you in a brand new vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
So that you like that vehicle and not want to give it back, and then you're buying a new car.
Yep.
I mean, that put it this way: in a business setting, I understand that. I mean, we essentially kind of do that as well. But put it this way: if I have a customer who drives let's say $100,000 luxury SUV, I'm not going to give
Wagoneers.
I'm not going to give them a fucking Fiat. I'm not going to give them a Dodge Hornet. So
Those cars, oh my God,
they're
this is
horrible.
laughing.
I'm not even like throwing anybody under the don't buy that car, please.
Not to mention, cars are about to go up
Again.
like $9,000-$10,000.
Yep.
Yeah, and the market's
Average.
already bad, especially in granted the area we live in with all the government layoffs.
He did pull back on that.
He did that.
on the cars.
Yeah.
Only because the fucking car companies were like, hold up.
Not just
Our shit goes back and forth across the border, so you're fucking us over too.
Well, that's what he did. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he really thought it through when he did these things.
I think what happens is he gets these things, or he hears these ideas from people, and they sell it to him. Because again, if it's a good pitch, I'm gonna buy it.
Yep.
And that's all it is. It's all sales. The whole fucking shit is a bunch of people trying to sell each other on something.
Yep. And they just took off all the alcohol off of their shelves.
Oh, that's Canada.
Yeah.
All the American
Canada.
alcohol.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. That's why. But
That's gonna fuck American like the whole thing is he's not smart. But I don't know, whatever.
Did you see that they caught what JD Vance said on his mic during his speech? Like literally, it caught what he said. And I'm
feel
like,
like
y'all know the mics are on at all times.
Yeah, I felt like that was semi-deliberate, but he's also kind of not smart either.
No,
but,
and he's a kind of a douche anyway. Which I still don't understand that the fact that this man is just as racist as.
Oh no, they all are.
And his wife is from India.
They all are. Well, she's
Indian or something.
yeah, she is, but I think she's very
Americanized.
She's been here for a while.
Yeah, she's
her
very
family's been
Americanized.
here for a while.
Yep. When you're Americanized and you forget where you come from, it's pretty upsetting.
I will say this: I think their press secretary is like really good, though. I think she's sharp as a fucking tack.
What?
Their press secretary.
No.
I'm gonna have to go
Oh
with
my
no on
God.
that one, buddy.
No. She's
You
good.
must be high.
First of all, she is a racist piece of shit.
Yes.
Her
She's-
thin-lipped ass, bro.
Yes.
Fuck her.
dude.
Yes.
She's
She's trash.
She's still sharp as a tack.
No,
dude.
she's not. She's
You-
trash. She's
Oh.
trash.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if you're high as a freaking
No, he's not. It's
listening to her.
I don't know. Whatever. You have your opinion, but she's not that sharp.
I put it this way.
She's just very. What's the word? Yeah, okay, fine. I'll give you sharp. But when I say sharp, it's just because she's wit. She can come back quickly. It's not that she's smarter than anybody, but she's very condescending the way she talks to people. And it's like, why do you have to be angry when you're answering these questions? Like, just
Exactly.
answer the fucking question.
That means
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
going back to
the president said it's that way, so that's how it should be. Like, bitch, fucking calm the fuck down. He just asked you a goddamn question, which is their job, and it's your job to answer the fucking question.
Now I'm not saying that.
Maybe
Anytime,
someone
hold on. Before we go any farther, hold on. Hear me out. Is all I was saying, because all I'm watching is some of the press briefings.
Yeah, the clips.
Anything deeper than that, whatever the racial thing that's going on, I don't know nothing about.
You need to watch a full
gotta
press
watch.
conference
You
and
have
then
to.
be like, wait, what? Why did
You can't.
You're getting snippets here and there,
Mm.
and then you're not getting the full context because depending on which way they lean, they're gonna get pieces and they're gonna chop that shit up
Yep.
the way it fucking.
Oh no,
presses
I
their
understand
agenda.
that. Yeah,
Where it
no, I
looks
get
good.
that they do that on either side. So I
That's what I-
understand.
yeah, that's what I was
I
just saying.
understand that. No, but it's still. I was just like, well, damn, that's I was pretty kind of impressed by it. That's all.
Matter of fact, I gotta see if I can set up a thing for it, but I got this app that's free that
I get the Newsbreak app where I get all
no,
those.
well, no, this one is it just basically it breaks down, so it'll have articles, and it'll tell you. I want to see if I can set it up so we get credit for this, but it tells you how far right leaning it is or left leaning, whether it's in the middle, and then there's even a page where it's like media misses. Like, so the left side missed this article, or the right side missed this article, and you could kind of better judge how much you can take from that particular article. Because again, if it's really like,
Well, I would like to think, hopefully, to some degree, that most people
like that one, and I don't know what this is. This says all, you can't see it in there, but anyway, the red, it's all the way right.
Yeah.
So whatever you like, you got to take that with a grain of salt of like what they're going to say.
I also take away from who is speaking and how they're speaking. So I look at that more so than anything, and that is always the biggest gauge.
Wait, so what gives you the impression that she's sharp?
I think you put it better is that she's just witted and she's just sharp with her responses. I just like that. I think it's cool.
I just think she needs a panty vibrator and she'd be
she needs
so
something.
tense.
I think her boyfriend. I might be mistaken on this, but I think her boyfriend is a guy who asked Zelensky why he didn't wear a suit.
No, that was Marjorie Taylor.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That was her boyfriend.
Well, either way, same vitriol, like disgusting energy.
And the crazy part is too about that whole situation, like how they're gonna bash him for not wearing a suit, not realizing that man does not get a salary or anything from his country. He donates everything to his country.
That part doesn't fit their narrative.
No, it doesn't, because they're like, oh well, this guy's like, but the way they greeted him and all that stuff and how they just bashed him.
Yeah, the attack was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and for him, say, oh, I'm gonna call him Timu Luzinski. I'm like, you know what? I actually shop on Timu. I actually shop on Shein. I shop on AliExpress because I'm sorry, American clothes don't fit me that well. With me being as small as I am now, because I was sick for 2 weeks, wound up with the flu, then I wound up with strep, which strep sucks like a.
Yeah, I used to get a lot as a kid.
I used to get it a lot as a kid. They almost took my tonsils out.
That's probably the reason why I'm terrified about going to an ENT specialist right now, because my doctor wants to send me to one because he thinks I might need to have my tonsils out. And I'm like,
I mean,
well, you get to eat all the ice cream like they used to tell you as a kid. Like, what the fuck? This hurt.
I didn't have my tonsils. I had my adenoids taken out.
Okay, never heard of that.
There's something
a little bit
with
further,
your,
further down in your throat. But having that done,
So they went all the way down your throat, huh, RJ?
yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, why not?
like,
Let's make the show, interesting for once. I don't know.
And I went from like 144 pounds to now down to being 136. So when I buy my clothes from overseas, it fits me better compared to
Well, they're
buying
little people
anything.
anyway.
Yeah, because I'm little people. I'm only 5 foot, and then everybody in my household's got a bet on everything right now because me and Paul have a little boy. He's 9 years old. That little boy is already 4'8", and he's 9. Everybody in the house says that he's gonna be 5 foot by Christmas, and I'm like,
yeah,
really?
easy.
Everybody in the house is taller than me anyway.
Well,
Easy.
I mean, like the 5 feet's not hard.
No. But at least, I know if I get on Jared's nerve, he could be just like, throw you over the shoulder, throw you outside.
My days of doing that is over. I let other people handle that shit now.
What, with jiu-jitsu? I mean, don't you do that anyway on that?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like
That's willingly.
like bar fight type shit.
I get out of the bars before that stuff happens. Everyone picks on me now because I'm out of the bar before 2 o'clock. Before 2 a.m.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, you're getting old now.
There's nothing out there past fucking 12.
Yeah, nothing, and nothing after 12 o'clock. Yeah, there's
I
really
do the comedy, do karaoke, and then I head home.
I know that you've been doing the comedy shows with Jared and everything.
Yeah, over a year. It's a year now.
Have you branched off anywhere else?
I would like to. I'm gonna have to.
Just slide that back.
I'm gonna have to rearrange my my schedule, my availability, so that I could try to go to the other sites that they tend to go to and see where they're going to see if I can branch off that way. I mean, I'm still working on some of my jokes. There's some things that are there that actually can work very well. I mean, I've been joking about my lupus because that's something that Jared actually brought up. I said, you know what? that is kind of some funny shit because there's some shit that I have done to try to ease the pain, and there's things that have been very jokative about, like me 420 for the first time, and it felt great, but I look like a newborn giraffe going down my nail tech's driveway, getting into the truck, and I'm thinking I'm flying in the truck and getting home, and I think I thought I FaceTimed somebody. But technically, I actually recorded myself.
Oh, okay.
And Paul has that video. He has that video of me where I'm sticking my finger up my nose, everything. And he says, remember this? And I'm like, you suck right now. Like,
Yeah.
You suck. And he's like, can we go back to that? Because, or where I go to the hospitals for, knock on wood, my medications have actually been working where I have not had a very bad flare up. But there will be times that where the only medications that work for me for my pain is morphine or Dilaudid. So when I get one of those two, I am sexually groping my husband
those are some
in the hospital.
pretty powerful drugs.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
as soon as it goes through your vein, you're just like.
No,
looks like heroin to me.
Yeah, no.
Technically, it is. It actually is.
I know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that until my brother told me because my brother's a nurse and he's like, "That's a little bit of heroin in your."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Opiates.
I was like, "Damn, okay, well."
Yeah, no, that's something. Yeah, that's a big.
Joking about my lupus. I joke about my marriage.
The thing about that stuff, once you get it honed in, like it works because it's your unique perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people, when they come into it, they're like, well, first of all, none of us are going to be as fucking, I don't know, half as good as Dave Chappelle starting out.
No.
So
No. Or
but
Cat
you gotta
Williams.
you gotta find your path to where your funny is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the best way to stand out amongst all the other people in that room is to fucking have your own unique perspective.
Mm-hmm. And that was a good thing that you mentioned that because you did tell me that it was going to be so different watching somebody live doing their comedy.
Oh, yeah.
And
especially at a high level.
Yeah. And I got to see Jeff Dunham live last month, and that was so awesome. Like, he was in Baltimore last month, and I keep missing his shows. So when I decided, like, one day, I was listening to his stuff driving home, and it said February 22nd, Baltimore, and I was like, wait, what? And I clicked on it, and I was able to buy tickets as a Valentine's gift for Paul, for me and him both to go.
Oh, sweet.
And we were there, and the fact that, he brought out Larry, which is the ventriloquist doll that's, it's all high strung for working with Trump. He put the Trump wig on Walter again. Then you have Peanut, and then Jose Jalapeno on a stick, which is, it's funny when they're, bickering at each other. This time he says, your mother learned how to roll and beg at the same time.
No. So they would. You said it's a jalapeno on a stick?
Yeah. Jose Jalapeno. Have you seen Jeff Dunham?
No.
You've never
my God. What rock
never heard
you
of
been?
Jeff Dunham?
Oh,
No, I've heard of him.
what rock you been living under?
Yeah, I know who he is. I've never really sat down and watched
You
him.
have to sit and watch, because if you got Amazon Prime and you're already paid into it, sit there and watch it, because he just got his new Christmas special that's on there.
Okay.
And then you got Achman, the dead terrorist, which is a skeleton one, and it's really hilarious because he's sitting there arguing with himself.
He's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, he's
no,
60.
no.
He's 61 years
No,
old.
see, I know where I've seen him, but I've seen him on like Letterman and Leno and shit like that. So I do know his
That
name.
little guy right there, the one that's got like the cell phone in his hand, he brought him out one time, and that was it was hilarious because it's a puppet that's supposedly living in his mother's basement.
Okay.
And, he's like, he says, when you go leave out of your parents' bed, they're still here.
Yeah, no.
They're never moving out type of thing. So, and then that's AJ. That's Achman's son.
I didn't know he had this many.
Yeah, he's got so many ventriloquist dolls now, and he makes his own.
Yeah, usually a lot of them do. Sometimes you can buy them, but most of them buy their own.
There is, because my daughter actually wants one, because her birthday's in June. I'm saving up for it. It's an actual Peanut ventriloquist doll for $200.
Mm.
So she wants to try it. She wants to try it out. So I'm like, okay, I can let her do that because she tends to argue with herself half of the time. I catch her in the kitchen.
She can practice with a sock.
That ventriloquism, I would
think
say,
that's
is
what's her name started? What's the sheep lady?
the lamb chop.
Lamb chop.
Lamb chop. Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
how
God!
she
Don't
started.
do that song. Gets anybody who sings that song, it gets stuck in my head for a week and a half.
Man, dude, that was it wasn't. I knew people that, it was mostly young girls that were watching it when I was obviously younger.
Everybody was. Well,
I used to watch
oh,
it.
maybe you're a little younger, but like, I don't know.
You know what they need to
I
bring back?
didn't watch it a lot, but
I
saw
know
enough
of
of
it.
it.
Yeah, very sparingly.
Yeah, there was a lot of
very sparingly.
a lot
I saw
of
that.
Fraggle Rock was one of
women
the other shows I
comedians.
used to watch.
Oh yeah, Fraggle. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
kid show.
that I know that. But yeah, lamb chop. No, I was more so watching, like Batman and shit with my dad after school. So that's why.
You know, the one kid show that really doesn't get that much props and it really should is Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We used to watch that shit.
Yeah,
in elementary school all the
Yep.
time.
Yep.
At
That
least
taught us how to read.
at least once a week, I think.
Might tell you how to read. I learned how to read.
All right, class, we're turning the lights out. Everybody, listen up.
Yep. Or when you see that the TV coming out with the VCR from another corner, we all got excited because we're watching TV in class. You know?
Yeah, no, that was cool. There was, I remember when Dick's Sporting Goods literally opened like their first shop. It was in 1999 or 2000.
Boo, Sports Authority.
That nut.
Yeah, and anyway,
So put this down because she's gonna get distracted.
there was a young
Like a gnat.
Yeah, there was a young lady in our school who got selected. I don't know how. There was some sort of contest going on to be in the first commercial. So they were like, "Hey, kids," and they pushed the cart into the room and started playing it. And we don't know the name of this place, granted, and we're a bunch of 9-year-olds. And the projector comes on and the TV comes on, the song starts playing, and they were like, "Dicks," and that was the first thing out of their mouth. And the whole room starts laughing, because you're a bunch of 9-year-olds.
Children, you need to be a
I'm
little
trying to
more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really work on that joke too. I need to start using it more often. I might actually use it this Tuesday, but I'm trying to think of a really way of combining it because you got these places called In and Out, Come and Go, Dick's, BJ's. There's a joke there for me, and I'm still working on it because these places are out there, and it's like, oh, come and go. So can you just go ahead and come and just go?
Be careful with that. That's kind of like low hanging fruit. So somebody may have it out there, unless you come up with a special twist on, like your own twist on it. That just be careful with like the low hanging fruit type stuff.
Yeah. There's things I'm just like trying to work on. Like, there's, I think about some of the other things that I'm dealing with, like what I deal with my kids, the jokes I could say about with them, because apparently I can sneak up on my kids now and they not knowing that I'm behind them and scare the shit out of them.
I mean, that would be one. You're a dick for doing that. Two, I mean, that's I guess a talent to a degree. Just sneaking up behind people what makes you want to do that? Just to
It's
scare
not intentional. There's times I'm not intentionally doing it. Like, I'll just come down
so
the
they just
stairs.
don't know you're there.
No, they just don't know I'm there. Like, I'm standing right there.
Getting that for most of my life. I'd be coming down the stairs and my mom would be like jump and like, why don't be creeping around the house? I'm not creeping. I'm simply just walking. It's not my fault that I walk like a ninja, and I've just been a ninja my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you pull the the cover over your face and all that stuff. No, I mean I've had scenarios where I've that's happened to me here, with my mom or sister, and then no, I will tell you the one thing. So say I am being a nerd, with my headset on playing my Xbox. One time, normally when my door opens, I can hear my mom or sister, be like, "Hey, RJ," I can still hear them,
Can you
but
do the same thing as that? Pull that this way and then turn
What?
it. Yeah.
what is it looking away?
It's blocking your
And I
eyes.
think,
I
I
didn't
think
know.
Paul's watching us live too because he said he signed up for Twitch. So
Oh, well, hello.
I don't even know
Paul, are you there?
Oh, you know what? I don't even have. Well, nobody said anything in the chat. So
Maybe he's trying to get it to figure it out working, or figure it out how to get it to work.
it took me like 2 seconds to figure it out.
Well, we don't know.
With all these technologies now these days, all these things that are popping up, it's like, holy crap. I can hand something off to my son for him having autism. I can hand him a knot that I can't get out of my necklace, and he can get it out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done that for my mom, too.
And it took him like 2 seconds.
Have autism also.
I don't have autism.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm a very smart man.
I found, I didn't
there
know,
you go again.
I didn't know I had it, but technically I'm a high-functioning autistic
Yeah,
person.
there's a lot of, well, especially these days. There's
Well,
a
because
lot
back
of people
then they didn't have the
way to diagnose it.
Yeah, they don't have a way to diagnose it. They didn't have the testing and the scientists and all the stuff that they can do to figure out what people are dealing with.
Yeah,
So.
like, I was diagnosed in 4th grade with ADD, and even then it was still kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
It was before ADHD. Well, ADHD was kind of around, but now it's become one thing, which I don't necessarily agree with because I don't have the hyperactivity part, but I have all the other stuff like impulsiveness and all the shit. I don't
Probably to the point where you really don't need medication, or maybe you need it. But just
I have been on it. I don't like the feeling of being on it.
Were you like Stewie, where he was on ADHD medication and he's like, "Hey, Bri."
Yeah, it fucking zombifies the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I've had actually, what grade was that? 5th or 6th grade. I had a teacher tell my mom that she didn't like when I was on the medicine. She could tell when I was on the medicine because I was like zombied out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Ritalin back then.
Yeah, my son's on Ritalin.
There was a few people.
And then I tried Adderall maybe a couple years ago now. I mean, yeah, I got shit done, but I felt like I always had to be doing something, which knowing about drugs and I'm like, I don't want to be a meth head.
No.
That's basically what it is. Always had to be doing something. Appetite was fucked up. Sleep was fucked up. And I was like, this isn't.
Not the life you want to live.
Yeah, it's not enough. What I'm getting accomplished is not enough for me to deal with all the other shit. So, because then they would have to give me a fucking pill for that shit and then another pill for that shit. And I'm like, nah, man.
I'm
not
on
doing
it.
Yeah,
that
that's what
shit.
happens. It becomes a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And when I was on my anxiety meds years ago, there got to a point where I would legit forget to take it because I was fine after a certain point. Well, I had changed lifestyle habits too, and that's really a big thing at the core of it when it comes to that stuff is just how you're treating yourself at the end of the day.
Yep.
But there's been times where I've thought it's like, hey, I wonder if I would start taking this again. But I will say that there's just a lot you can do, I feel, beforehand before you ultimately take that route. I feel like that should be always at the end of the day, your last-ditch effort, if possible.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everything comes down to diet.
Yep.
Exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And
just technically just a lot of lifestyle changes. Like I noticed I changed up a lot of my lifestyles too because it doesn't help too much with hours being cut back at my job right now because usually when I'm working I can actually do stuff. But then now with like Paul being on his military training and everything too, I noticed I'm actually more focused on a lot of stuff in my house. So I'm able to, take care of certain things like doing the laundry, doing the dishes. I'm cooking more meals for the family compared to what I was before. Taking the kids out when the kids want to go somewhere now. I got to get ready to teach my children how to drive. I'm not looking forward to that. Really not. I'm going to need to bubble myself up.
Well, see, I wouldn't want you to teach me how to drive either, just the way you're describing it, because you sound like a nervous driver.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I actually am not.
You sound like a nervous driver. And if
drive
you are,
a pick.
I wouldn't want you to teach me either.
I drive a pickup truck. That pickup truck out there is mine. I drive it.
not a nervous driver, a nervous passenger.
Yes, I'm a nervous passenger because it's to the point where when Paul drives half of the time, I kid you not, there's times that he scares the crap out of me, and I'm just going like this in the car. I'm like, "Are you okay? What are you doing?" You know, my eyes are all wide and everything.
Now, I will say I am not used to being a passenger. I personally am not. However, when I learned how to drive, I learned how by driving my buddy's brother's car when he was sleeping at night. That we used to just sneak it out, drive it around the neighborhood.
How old were you when this was happening?
Probably 14, 15 years old.
So you did a Mahoney and Hightower thing off of Police Academy.
I would say maybe 15. I would say maybe more 15, 16-ish.
Illegal.
Did you rip the chairs out so you could just fit in there?
No. We
It was Mahoney.
This was my friend's idea. I mean, I just was there to tag along, and that's how I learned how to drive. But
his friend's idea.
Exactly. I have a hard time believing that.
It was their car. I was like, hey, if we get caught, if we go to jail, it's your fault.
What happens if you had wrecked it?
Dude, we were just going through like parking lots in the neighborhood. I mean, if we wrecked it, we would have wrecked it. But I don't think, at least for me, I've never viewed driving as something very difficult to do. It's you just point the car.
You learned on an automatic, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I did.
You didn't even know how to drive a stick.
I barely. I can maybe get it rolling and shit.
Okay, so it's not as as easy as you think it is.
I'm not saying it is. And his brother actually had two cars. One of them was a manual, and he said, I want to teach you to drive this, but we're going to fuck the clutch up. And that's why I never learned
That's the whole point. You got to be able to learn, because my brother taught himself how to drive a stick shift. He taught himself. My dad didn't teach him. I don't know how to drive a stick shift. Only time I had to really learn how to do it when I was working at a dealership where we had to bring, stick shift vehicles up. So I was able to at least get it to third gear. Yeah. Now, I never got it up to like fourth and fifth gear. But when my dad tried to teach me how to drive, he tried to teach me how to drive in the snow when I was like 16 years old.
Yeah, you can't learn
and
in the snow.
And I freaked out.
Since then, front wheel or rear wheel drive?
It was like a Jeep tractor back then. It was like it was like all-wheel drive, and I caused the Jeep to slide, and my dad's like, you can't take your hands off the wheel. Well, he made me panic, and since then I never got back behind the wheel that time. And despite how I feel about my ex is the one that taught me how to drive, because when I got my permit back, and they says, when you want to go for your road test? I was like, wait, what? I thought I had to redo everything because I went for a state ID and all this other stuff. So he tosses his truck keys. And I'm like, you want me to drive that? He goes, if you could drive this, you could drive anything. And pretty much he was right. So, because once I learned how to drive an F-150 pickup truck at that time, I was able to drive everything. I could drive a U-Haul truck, whatever, no issues. And the way I have become, when it comes to my driving, though, and my kids kind of, try to figure out, like, how I got a little bit better at it, I said, after I got in my car accident 11, 12 years ago, yes, other people do tend to make me nervous. I do pay attention to everything around me when I'm driving.
Everything. In that respect, then yes, 100%. But I think
it's just
more
that I'm teaching teenage girls.
Well, the best thing to do is just, take, I don't know the layout of your neighborhood or anything, but like when I was teaching my sister, because I was not letting my mother teach her how to drive in any capacity, just go through the neighborhoods, and then when you feel confident enough, luckily we're situated currently is, the local grocery stores just right there.
The parking
so
lots,
it's like, hey, we just have to go through basically one intersection, make basically two full stops, and we're there. If we can get over here, it's all about gradually building up to those things. When I took my driver's test, to get my actual license, that was honestly my first time driving on the highway. And I was a little nervous about it. I'm not going to lie.
You don't have to. They usually don't send you out on the highway.
See, they don't.
I did.
Oh.
See, there's things I learned.
just did it recently. I didn't even go to the highway.
Yeah, they took me on the highway. Nice. I passed parallel parking with no issues. What caused me to fail my driver's test the first time was doing the K-turn. Now, in New Jersey, it's called a K-turn. Out here, it's called a three-point turn. Out here.
Yes, because we're better.
Shut up. No, you're not. Because they don't use parallel parking out here anymore. They don't even teach you parallel parking no more. And you need to learn that because there's people who try to parallel park and then you hear them go, across someone's car and then drive off. It's like, whoa.
You don't really need it in Virginia. You don't really need it in Virginia that much.
No, unless you go to D.C. or Baltimore.
Yeah, but
or even
how
Old
many
Town.
people, like, it's just us that live up here, like the people, the rest of Virginia, they don't have
No, but I really feel like it should be something. Well, no, you got a parallel park out in Alexandria.
Yeah, again, up here where it's a lot more people and it's more city-like, but I'm thinking like the rest of the state.
The rest of the world, no.
No, the rest of the state that's red.
Yeah.
It's red for a reason because it's not city-like. It's not progressive.
True. That is true. That is true.
I've always been decent at. The only way to get good at parallel parking is to fucking do it.
Yeah, that is the one driving quality that I do not possess. And if I do possess it, it is like the size of my pinky, and that's
You just
that's
gotta
pretty
get.
much it.
You gotta get at the. I'm trying to remember. Like
You got to
kind of right next to it,
Yep.
and then
And then
turn
that's
it
when you
45 degrees,
Mhm.
and then when you see you get too close to the when the
The
car
curb?
is when you get too close to the curb, you don't want to rub it, so
No.
you're like right before, then you start straightening it out. Now it's gonna determine how much maneuvering you can do. If you're good, you can judge that space because if it's a tight spot, then you're gonna have to be able to judge that distance and.
Or if you want to cheat a little bit, you can take your mirrors, depending if you're doing it on the driver's side or the passenger side, you can take your mirrors and lower it so that you can keep an eye on that curb itself.
Yeah, you can
That's
do that.
another way of doing it.
Yeah.
But
You could-
I guess,
like, nowadays you can do that because you got the automatic stuff.
yeah, now
But
you
back
got
in the day,
back in the day, you didn't have that. No, you had to be like,
You had to get out.
you know. But in a way, if it does come to the point where I got to teach my daughters how to drive, there's driving schools now because it actually lowers your car insurance when your teenagers go on your car insurance.
Yeah, we had that too. But
I didn't have driving school.
it was through Fairfax County. Fairfax County used to have the driver's ed, and then you could pay a certain amount to do the classes later. Usually it was at night, which makes sense because then you're
nighttime, weekend.
At least if you're gonna be driving at night at some point, so like you might as well be learning how to drive at night.
Well, that's kind of again how we learned too. Again, his brother would be asleep at night, and we'd just be in the neighborhood driving around. We would just go down to the 7-Eleven or whatever the case may be. Oh,
Keep going, RJ.
no, I don't know. I thought we were live on something.
Yeah, we're live. No.
I don't know.
Sorry, guys, we're not accepting any requests on this. This is for you guys to just listen to us or whatsoever. So,
No super.
Sorry about that. I ain't
no
doing
request for you.
I'm not doing no live battles or anything like that. I'm not doing any of that.
What was it? Live battles?
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
come on.
the live battles.
Come
where
on, guys. Yeah,
you just
come on.
sit there and you
Thank-
talk with people.
Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart.
And yep, exactly what how Jared does. Like, thank you for the heart. Getting the gifts and stuff. But the only problem with that though is that TikTok gets half of those proceeds that you get for that money wise. So you're not getting that full amount. So if you're giving somebody,
Well, that's the same thing with Twitch when someone gives a sub.
Yeah,
We only get half of it.
yeah. So I mean, it's okay. I mean, some people make money off it. To the point now, I got the TikTok shop where I buy stuff off of there, and they have me promote.
I ain't
stuff on
buying shit off of TikTok.
It's
No
not
offense.
bad.
I'm good.
Yeah, well,
It's Temu stuff.
but we would drive.
Nothing wrong with Temu.
We would drive to like 7-Eleven and just the very, very close spots. I will say this. I do remember one time. It was in the summer. There was like 6 of us, and we like packed in the car.
You did a clown car
Oh yeah, dude, you guys trust me. When we had to get somewhere, we found a way.
laying on somebody's lap.
And my good buddy Edgar, who is actually going to be up here this summer and is going to be a guest on the show, he follows us. I can't wait to have him on. You're going to love him, I promise. Anyway, I promise you're going to like this guy. You're going to like this guy.
You need to start bringing people on the show, RJ.
No. I am the show. What I was
the
going to
show.
say is, so they were like, here, let's go to Georgetown. And I was like, all right. So, I'm just riding along. And we get to Georgetown. Now, granted, we're not old enough. Nobody has a fucking license, okay? Somebody just has a permit. All right. We're driving a car illegally through, the greater
shit.
D.C. area.
You already said that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And we actually got to the part in Georgetown where that staircase is from where The Exorcist was filmed.
Yep.
So-
Paul's actually got a picture of him with it.
Really cool little national landmark, I guess, or whatever you want to call that. And we drive. There's a gas station literally right there. It's like a Texaco or Amco. Or
Yep.
something.
I don't think it's
I know
there
exactly
anymore.
what you're talking about.
Or it was obviously there at the time. And we drive by it, and there's like 8 fucking cops right at this gas station.
Was this the weekend?
I can't remember. I just
It had
know it
to
was a
be the
day,
weekend.
day during the summer. But granted, it's maybe 11 o'clock at night. Okay.
Yeah, it's Georgetown. It's always
And how old
Yeah.
were you then?
Oh,
again?
I was probably like maybe 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we're driving by, and then my buddy was like, "Oh my God, our headlights aren't on." So we drove by this gas station illegally with 6 people with a driver's permit with no headlights on. And by the grace of God, nobody looked at us. And as we drove by the gas station,
we're right here.
yeah, me. Okay, sorry. I'm just so excited.
I
because
appreciate the enthusiasm, but oh God,
Richard J. was like, "Hey, we should probably get the fuck out of here." And the person that was driving at the time was like, "RJ, that's pretty smart." And then we came back home safely and successfully. Plot twist: as we get back, somebody took his brother's parking spot, right? And we were like, "Oh fuck, what do we do?" So I went home. My buddy ended up sitting in his brother's car. I went home because I lived across the street.
No, I know,
lived
I
across
know,
the street.
but it seems to be like
You're supposed to take the heat.
yeah. If there was I feel like if I was in a situation that I don't know if I could 100% count on you to be there if I needed you.
Yeah, I've been there for you a lot, a whole lot.
I'm just saying like a situation like
If you shot and murdered somebody?
he was about to get in trouble.
Yeah, no, we've gotten caught doing a lot of dumb shit before. Oh, I've been yelled at by his mother, and it's not pleasant in any capacity at all.
Did you get the chocolate to throw at you?
No. But I'm not even going to speak on that. Regardless, what I was going to say is that he was kind of like, "Hey, you should probably go." Because I don't know when this person's... He ended up sitting in the car for like an hour and a half until that person left and parked the car successfully. He was there till like 4 a.m.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it was just a very long night, and by the grace of God, we did not get in trouble. So that's just a little
And this
story.
is the person you're trying to have on the show. He doesn't sound...
No. He's just one of the people that was in the car. We were in high school. Come on.
I know. I'm just saying. You guys didn't.
It wasn't our car. We're like, "Hey, come with us." It was like, "Yeah, sure." why
I
not?"
think we all done some stupid
I
shit
get
in
it.
high school.
I know, but just certain things you just gotta think about. You gotta think about what's ahead.
Well, I was the one thinking.
The shit's chestnut checkers.
I understand that. I was just in the car, and then we decided to, like, "Hey, let's go here." I'm like, "All right, I'm here."
Let's just drive to fucking Georgetown when none of us have a fucking license. Yeah, why are we? What?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted something to do.
Stay your ass in the house, motherfucker.
Yeah, we did that sometimes. Sometimes. And then I work that summer in particular, I do remember it very fondly. The reason I say that is because I was working at McDonald's that summer with the pretty much half of the group of guys that were in the car with me. But it got to a point that summer where we didn't know what day it was anymore because we were working, smoking, and then working. And then I didn't know if it was Tuesday. I didn't know if it was Sunday, because it all just started to blend in like mid-July.
You guys didn't know what calendars were back then?
We had one in the house, but when you're outside walking around, you don't know what time it is, but you can only tell time by the sun,
No, we used to tell time when that street light comes on, your butt better be in that house.
Yeah, you know what time it is.
As soon as that street light, and I will have to say, a lot of
And
these
it
kids
wasn't
today
so much
don't
the
even know that.
time, it was the day. It was the day that we didn't know. Trust me.
And by the way, this weekend we lose an hour of sleep too.
No, we don't.
Yeah, it's on the. Or do they get rid of it already?
No, they didn't get rid of it, but I'm not losing anything.
Oh, you just keep your clocks the way they are, huh?
I mean, no, I don't.
Oh well, our phones change for us, so
but I'm not gonna let it change how I do.
how I do my day.
The only thing I like is the fact that we get longer nights.
Yeah, longer nights. Yep.
Because I think it's unnecessary to have early mornings, and I don't give a shit if you got to get up early and it's dark outside. Well, that's your own fault.
I'm still waiting for that groundhog to actually bite the shit out of the person and keeps ripping him out of his damn hole.
I don't know. I don't even pay attention to that shit.
I mean,
I don't pay attention as much as either, but it's like every time I hear about it, I'm just like, just waiting for that thing.
I scroll. They be like, "Well, the groundhog."
Yeah, it's
gone.
not.
I think of Caddyshack every time I think of groundhog.
Or groundhog.
Yeah,
Day.
groundhog. Yeah.
Well,
That
I
one
mean,
good.
it's obviously synonymous with that, but I don't think it's really been like overly a big deal in a long time. Like, really.
No, it hasn't really been.
I mean, it's like, hey, it's ground. I remember when I was a kid, it was kind of like, I don't want to say like a big deal, but it seemed like it was mentioned a little more, and
it goes back to what we were talking about last week, the culty type shit.
Ugh.
The cult.
I was listening to that during the work week and listened to remaining of it today on my way here. And, y'all need that sign. I got a sign on my door that says no soliciting. If this house charges $50 per minute to listen to any religious or sales pitch. And since I put that on my door, I don't get nobody knocking on my door.
Oh, no. I just don't answer my door for anybody regardless. Unless I know they're coming. That I don't need a sign because they're not getting in if I don't know they're coming, they're not getting in.
So in Jared's scenario where
Don't pop up at my house.
yeah, just popped up at his house. What do you do in a scenario like that? Do you just wait for him to leave? Do you actually open the door and acknowledge him and say, "Hey, no, thank you"? Or
before I had that sign, they used to knock on my door. And at times, being a woman by yourself when your husband or your spouse or whatever is not in the house or you have nobody in the home.
Get the shotgun.
It's kind of scary a bit. So sometimes you just make sure your door is like locked in a certain way so no one can't barge in because there's too many, people barging into your home now, breaking into your home. That's one of their tactics now. With me though, sometimes they normally catch me when I'm going into my house, bringing in my groceries and all that stuff. And I'm like, look, I got cold food in my hand. Unless you're going to buy me brand new groceries, please get out of my way.
Well, the Lord will provide the freezing temperatures to keep your food cold.
And at this point now, I try to explain to him, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I said, I don't, I do believe in the higher up, but I don't believe in what you believe in. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, I'm sorry, you guys do Jesus. I don't do Jesus. I'm sorry. And they look at me.
I don't do Jesus either.
Yeah,
that would be kind of gross to do Jesus.
I mean, well,
I'm into spirits.
That's all bones and stuff.
I love spirits. Spirits are great.
Isn't that like a whole? See, they want to make sure I'm still here.
Yes, we are still currently here. Are you a robot?
I am still here, you guys. Got to do it again.
Damn, is that a puzzle piece in the sky?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Some stupid.
There we are.
Are you a robot type shit?
Yeah, they want to make sure you're still alive. But yeah, it's like when you get those people coming to your door, sometimes it's normally sometimes you will see them in your neighborhood. Like you can't miss them. They're literally they were in their little saddlebags and white T-shirt, black pants, and some of them have their their
black tie,
the black ties or their bicycles and stuff.
The women have the long dresses.
Yep. Mormons and all that stuff. Because I'm just like, look, y'all. I said nothing against what you guys believe in.
Oh no, there's a lot against what I believe.
I'm like, you believe what you want. Like I tell people, it's like, look, if you want to do your religious things and all that stuff, but don't push it on me.
That religion was born out of racism too.
Mm-hmm. And I always have this argument with my dad on a day-to-day basis.
Why you look like that?
On a day-to-day basis. Because my dad tried to give me a cross. And I looked at my father, I said, you know that I decolonized myself and reconnected with my native roots to the point where I don't wear crosses anymore. I said, my ancestors died for that because if we didn't follow that or they thought what we were doing was not godly, but we were actually giving back to the earth. We were doing things that we were thriving and living the way we need to. And y'all didn't think that was okay. So you guys want to do like this missionary stuff with us and all that. And
it was way before the missionary stuff.
Yeah. You wanted to burn us alive if we didn't switch to, the religion and
or
all that
diseases.
Sort of stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't follow that no more. And my dad says, well, the devil. I said, the devil didn't exist until 1492. Exactly what I told him from my ancestors.
Did you know? Well, whatever. Spain had gotten there before.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Well, we dealt with Christopher Columbus first. Well, Christopher Columbus. is what we call him.
No, it was I can't remember his fucking name now.
I know who you're talking
Amerigo
about.
Vespucci?
Huh?
I know.
Magellan?
I think I know who you're talking
No.
about. They just one of the native creators I know on TikTok, Indigenous Prince.
I can't remember his name.
She
right
made
now.
a shirt. They made that company made a shirt with the guy. It's like one of the guys where he got his ass whooped by the natives or something like that. And
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and the Dutch were very bad too.
When they came over from Spain or Europe in general, they brought diseases, and they always put in the history book, the Spaniards or the Europeans, they killed off all these well, they didn't really call them native, all these people who were attacking them, basically to spin it like they were the bad guy, much like this motherfucker talking about.
But it turns out that they were
Ukraine started the war, but I neither here nor there. Again, that's whoever has control can spin history the way they want to spin it. And what really happened was they brought all these diseases over, smallpox and whatever the fuck is, measles, which that side of our side of the world, North America, South America, had never fucking been exposed to until Europeans came over.
Yep.
And that's what killed them out. And matter of fact, during like Custer times, the Indian American Wars or war or whatever, they deliberately gave these guys blankets infested with smallpox, just to kill them off without having to actually go to war with them. Fucking cowardly way to go out, but
it was, and there was a lot of stuff, like certain things that are not in the history books that people really need to actually sit down and go to these reservations, actually speak to actual tribal members, to speak to a shaman and all that other stuff. And one of the things that, which Paul's been trying to understand a little bit more about my culture since I have actually reconnected myself. I said, I'm still learning myself. So if I'm wrong, I will go and get the information first before I go deep diving into it and then get lost in a rabbit hole type of thing. But one thing I do know is that when people are constantly saying that we used to eat people, I'm like, where are you hearing this from? And they're like, well, you guys used to eat. I'm like, no, we didn't.
They did too.
And then there was like,
do you know they ate Nat? You know who Nat Turner is, right?
Yeah.
He led one of the most famous slave rebellions, and that was in Virginia. I think it's Tidewater area. But that was down there, and because they had fucking fucked so much shit up, and he was the leader, they ended up eating him. Like to basically show that, like, no, we have the power over us. So everybody was eating everybody.
It's pretty wild when you really think about that.
Yeah,
but if you really want to
let's eat
start,
this guy. What?
just because that showed it was, first it was a power move, and then I think supposedly some people thought that they got his powers from him, which weird in itself.
Now I know that. Now Jared doesn't watch this stuff. But I really feel that sometimes you should really just sit back and just watch it every now and then, like the Hulcher Files or the Dead Files or anything. These are people who are actually like mediums that can actually read and actually talk to the dead. Where there was one I watched, the Hulcher Files, where they're actually reopening cases from Holzer himself, who came from Australia and actually did a lot of ghost hunting, paranormal huntings out here. And when you learn more about the histories, there's things that I've been finding out that are not even in history books, like certain things that are certain tribe, names and stuff, like certain, like there's I guess the tribe, like I think this one tribe has like I don't say the name. I know the name at the moment, but I'm not going to say the name. But there's a name that is forbidden because it's known for taking souls into like the slates and stuff that they have out there. I think it's in Boston or something like that, like, the way the stones are. And the spirits get stuck and they can't go nowhere. So dealing with that stuff and then finding out that actually someone on the show itself was actually reincarnated. Like literally you look at the picture and then you look at the person and it's like, oh shit. So when people say, oh, you believe in that stuff? Yes, I actually believe in that. Like if you ever have like those deja vu moments or you feel like you're attached to a certain like property or a certain thing like that. That means yourself has been reincarnated to the aspects where, you know, you need to make sure you change your lifestyle where you don't make that same mistake you made in, you know, the 1800s or 1700s or whenever you were originally reincarnated from.
Yeah, I've never gotten that deep into it. I mean, I guess I could say I believe in reincarnation. For what reason we do it, I don't know. But because I've seen a lot of that stuff where the people will look like just like somebody from like the 1800s, and they're like 20.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they'll have like the bone structure,
yeah, same
the nose,
same exact look and everything. But I from a scientific perspective would also argue that it could be that humans are so genetically close that they just happen to look like just like a child can look just like its parent.
Yep.
It's the same thing. So yeah, they're probably related at some point because fucking at this point we're all related at some point.
At some point,
somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
But
I got 17 nationalities, so I know I'm related to one of y'all.
I don't know how many nationalities you have. I know, I'm pretty sure Native American and African, obviously. Other than that, and I think maybe some like Middle Eastern. From my cousin's side, she did a maternity test, so that's whatever is your grandmother's side.
Yeah, grandmother's side usually. Yeah, because
so yeah, that side is, and you can see it because they're light skinned, and you can also see the Native American because they just have those features, and it's like, but it could have been Middle East. It came across across the land bridge and then came down, and it still could just be all that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Because I know I have African American in me. I got the Toga, I got the Nigerian because of my dad. My mother's got the Japanese, the Taino. Then finding out that my father is the one that carries the gene for not the gene, but the genetics for Filipino. Because I saw my stuff, and I was like, where the hell does the Filipino come from? And then my dad finally did his after 6 years of me buying him one for Father's Day. Finally did it. And he's like, oh, I got Filipino. I was like, I try to say it because Mom doesn't have it. And then I see Korean. So I'm like, dang. I'm like, Mom, what? See, my grandmother's not alive. My mom's mother's not alive, so I can't question her about these things. But I was able to really dig into my family tree. I found a couple of my family members on TikTok that I didn't even know nothing about, and we connected our family tree. And we're like, oh, shit, we're actually related. So I have family that's Polynesian. I got family that's in Hawaii. I got family that's in Greenland. So finding family like that, it's holy crap.
Well, you're about to be closer to them because we're about to take them over.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how the hell that's going to work. They say, we're not for sale. They want the minerals and stuff. They want the stuff that's over there. That's what they want.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm like, I said, can't we stop colonizing shit?
No.
Stop taking over stuff that doesn't belong to us. That's why I'm like, when people are like, oh, well, we're making America great. When was it ever great? What period was actually really great? What period?
When a certain group of types of people had all the control.
Well, I keep telling everybody, I said it was never great because it's full of genocide, slavery, and everything else. So, you know.
Yeah, but and I tell you the times that they're talking about, it's around like 1930s. And then just after World War II.
I kind of laugh about that when you brought up the 1930s because there's a meme that I posted up on my Instagram on my comedy page where it shows Elon Musk in the Tesla and it says going from 0 to 1930 in like second amount of seconds because technically that's what it feels like we're dealing right now.
Yeah, we're definitely going backwards.
And he's getting mad because people are calling his cars swastika cars.
Well, he can get mad as he wants, but people aren't buying his cars anymore.
No, they're burning his cars. I think there's a lot of people who burn his cars.
People are defacing. They're spray painting. I saw a thing where this motherfucker, I think it was on
Cybertruck.
Daily. What's the one that Jon Stewart used to be on?
The Daily Show?
Daily Show. I saw one that they were talking to this guy. He was like, yeah, he had a Cybertruck, but he had it like painted gold. And he was like, yeah, I'm trying to sell it. I'm like, motherfucker, ain't nobody buying that shit.
Actually I saw one on $4.95 on my way here, where half of it was purple and the other half was green, and then they put like some type of wing on the back of it, and I'm like, what are we doing?
I don't know.
But then when I look at this thing,
that's the new Ford F-150 with the Confederate flag on top.
But you're looking at this sucker, and it's like, when you look at it, when you're driving in it, I never drove one of these things, but I'm thinking like, geez, I know every car has a blind spot. When you're driving it, but this sucker has to have like blind spot galore, the way it's designed.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know what that.
I only drove a Tesla one time, only because of the fact I wanted to see if it was true about taking that sucker into a graveyard and it picking up spirits in the graveyard, and it actually did.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I was like, dude, well, whatever's here, please do not follow me home. That's all I ask.
I used to want a Tesla, and then I don't know. I got into a semi-discussion, and I don't think I'm going to answer this person back. But they were talking about like this whole process with all this stuff, and they were like, well, somebody brought up SpaceX and how we could start doing cuts there because that's a lot of that money comes from the defense budget, which goes to SpaceX.
Yep. And
this other person was like, well, if we cut back on SpaceX, then we'll have to go back through Russia to get astronauts to space. So I simply said, well, the whole idea for the model of SpaceX that Elon pushed for himself was to have more reliable vehicles that could be reused, which would cut down the cost of space exploration.
Yep.
And then I didn't put the math in there, but I even looked it up because I remembered it was like 80 million. But then when I looked it up, for Russia to send us on one of their shuttles to the International Space Station, it's $80 million a seat. A seat.
Good God.
That's 3 people. So 80 times 3.
240.
Yeah. So that's how much they would be spending to go there. Now, using SpaceX, because they're reusable, the rockets and the capsules are reusable, they cut that down to a third of that cost. So it's much cheaper. So I was like, and their whole point, well, we'd have to go back to Russia. And I'm like, no, that's not what it is, because it's cheaper for us to do it the way we have. So he could cut down on like his own stuff as far as what taxpayers are having to pay him. And then I was like, well, but then at the same time, guess what? Now he's not getting as much money. So,
his stocks are plummeting.
So
now.
Tell me that's not a conflict of interest. And then this person was like, well, I don't know what you're trying to prove by this post, but this, that, the other. And then, a person doesn't know what they're talking about, or they feel like they don't know what to say when they start the personal attacks. It's like, this, I don't know what you're trying to prove by this. If you know anything about this, that, and the other thing, and troubleshooting, and there's going to be this, that, and the other thing, and then it's like, so I don't know what you built substantially that you built. And I'm like,
yeah.
First of all, my career has always been troubleshooting something, and I know I daily basis I find systems, figure out how these systems go together, integrate them. And but I have to learn how these systems work before I can even go through that process. So for you to fucking sit here and tell me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about as far as analyzing systems and fucking figuring out how they work before I start chopping shit the fuck up.
Yep.
Like, go back to your fucking martial arts gym and keep teaching fucking whatever the fuck you're teaching, because you don't know what you're talking about. But the grandstanding of shit that people are doing, especially on social media, it's like you don't even know fully what you're saying. Like just because you think that this guy is gonna finally do what fucking you've always wanted the government to do, is downsize. Which, again, not saying that we shouldn't be downsizing, because I don't believe in big government either.
No.
But again, you need to know what these things do before you start turning them off.
Well, but the only problem, and you're right, they need to know what they're doing before they turn it off. But also, a lot of people got to realize too is that the government is not just in D.C. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's the entire country.
It's everywhere. So a lot of these people who voted for this, and then realizing, oh, now they're actually getting nabbed. They're crap.
Have you seen the Nebraska stuff?
Yes, yes, I have.
Hey,
I have.
You reap what you sow.
You did. You sure do. That's why the fucking around find out is getting long. The list is getting longer and longer.
And like, I don't want anybody to fucking like lose their shit.
Well, that's why people keep asking me like, "Oh, were you a Democrat or a Republican?"
I
said, "I'm neither."
Yeah, I'm
neither. Don't get me wrong. When I was in high school, yes, I was a strong Democrat when I was in high school.
Growing up, because I thought that's what I had to be.
Yep.
But then I started learning on my own. Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You're a little quiet over there.
Well, it was just you guys were talking. I'm listening.
Yeah, because you got when we were in high school, all that stuff and what your parents try to teach you and everything like that. But then when I got older, I noticed that I stopped and I actually stood back and I read these policies that these politicians are putting into place. And I read them over, not only just for my state, but I also look for what it is for everybody, because the fact that it's not just affecting me, but it will affect everybody around me. So if I see that this may not benefit not just myself, but anybody else, I'm like, no. And then I notice that I have been voting either party because of the fact that I'm not picking sides.
Yeah.
I read policies. And I try explaining to people, if you don't read these policies and you're just voting for that particular party because that's what you were stuck on, you're not only going to just cause trouble for yourself, but you're going to cause trouble for just everybody around you because you're just being so naive and not sitting back and analyzing certain things. Like Project 2025. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't read that. But then when they noticing that these things that he says that he wasn't going to do it, but all of a sudden that stuff is on the chopping block. Like literally he's going like not in order, but he's getting there.
I knew he was a liar, but I didn't know he was like, he's blatant nowadays. This term, he is blatantly lying about a lot of shit. A lot.
Like with the tariffs and stuff. He said, I'm going to do this. But now he signed another executive order to hold it off for another month because he sees that these countries are fighting back.
They're not playing.
Yeah, they're not playing. They're fighting back. It's like, look, these are our allies. If we ever go into war, we're screwed.
Yeah. Well,
because these countries are saying, well, fuck y'all.
Yeah,
if you guys go into war, we ain't.
Why pick a fight with Canada is crazy to me.
That right there.
I don't understand. Like, Mexico, maybe. Yeah. Only because, yes, we do get a fuck ton of drugs from there. They're coming through there. But again, there are. We might if there's a fucking. I don't want to say the word. If there's that type of thing again, we're gonna need these motherfuckers. But guess what? When it pops off, guess who's not gonna come helping? You'll be like,
we're not number one with our military. We're not.
I beg to differ on that one.
You don't think so?
We spend way more money than everybody else. 47% of the discretionary budget.
Oh, come on. They couldn't even find a wiffle ball bat when they were trying to find Saddam Hussein.
What do you mean they couldn't find? They found him.
They found him in a hole.
Yeah, they found him.
In a hole.
But they found him.
But they said, we're going there for weapons of mass destruction. They couldn't even find a wiffle ball bat.
That part was a lie.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. That's why I was like, you can't even find a wiffle ball bat. What the hell?
And matter of fact, I was just came across this. I had two thoughts at the same time. But, yeah, I came across how Colin Powell was in front of the UN and basically lied to everybody. I still think that was Dick Cheney, but whatever. The other thing is, I was thinking about this whole thing, America first, right? Mm-hmm. And it sounds great.
It does.
On the surface.
At times.
But RJ's like, what do you mean? It sounds great on the surface. But then I started thinking about isolationism because I remember growing up, because I kind of paid attention in government and history. So I started thinking about isolationism, not so much imperialism and nationalism, but more isolationism. And then it was funny because as soon as I started searching isolationism, and then I was like, isolationism and then the United States. And guess what 2 times popped up when the United States says we're gonna fucking worry about America first. We had no choice but to not be isolationist after this.
Yeah.
World War I and World War II. Soon as we said, "Oh, we're gonna stay over here and not mind our business," we got pulled in to this fucking thing because we can't do that. Like we have to be a part of the whole fucking thing for this shit to work.
We have to, in order to keep allies, to keep people who are willing to help us if we ever get into a jam ourselves.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, "Oh, well, we can't go over there and help. We can't do this." But then again, when we need help, they come over and help us. So it's like you can't.
Well, but there's no reason for them to come over here.
No, because there's really we
hard
haven't had anything in a while.
Yeah, it's hard to get over here.
Well, actually, you know what?
might
No,
prove difficult.
actually, if you really think about it, when we had those wildfires in California, and the people who really have been there for us, even all this crap that's still going on, they still came over here and helped us.
Yeah. Wildfires and stuff. But I'm talking about like if getting over here. That's why it's so important for all these countries to have their like missile whatever is going on, because that's the only way they're going to be able to get to us is through long range missiles.
Yep. And
now they could fly and do some things, but they got a long way to go to get back to wherever the fuck they're going.
Yep.
Like, you could have your couple of aircraft carriers, but hey, guess who has the largest military in the world or largest navy in the world? Us.
Yes. Yeah.
Largest air force in the world? Us. Like, we got everything. Like,
yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
And I did have to laugh about when they try to throw out and say that they want to buy Greenland. Greenland says, "Well, we're not for sale, but we'll buy California." I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, "Okay, what?" Okay,
Trump might want to do that. He might want to do that. Though.
Well, they're waiting, and the thing is, though, a lot of people also got to understand something too. California would be the first place that they would go after if China decides that they want to.
Yeah, it's probably the closest, but again, it still would prove difficult because they got to get across the Pacific Ocean's huge.
It is. It is.
Like we always see a picture
it's
of
an 18-hour flight going to Japan.
Yeah, I know. I've done it 4 times. You always, every time we look at a map of the globe or a globe, and yes, it is a globe for whoever is thinking it's fucking not
flat.
Still can't believe that's a thing.
I still can't believe people think that.
But you always see the side of the United States side and South America. But like if you go to Google Earth and you turn that shit around and you see the Pacific Ocean, like you can't barely see any other piece of land.
Yeah, no, it's
Anywhere.
huge. Yeah.
You know what? There's another map thing you can actually look where you can actually scroll in. There is islands there.
Oh yeah,
Where you
100%.
just said,
That's where Hawaii.
There's islands there. So when you got where people are discovering these things and they see people on it, and they're like, "Well, what should we do? Leave them alone.
Yeah,
they're fine.
First of
Leave
all,
them alone.
There's no reason for them to be bothered.
No, don't bother them. Leave them alone.
They are in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing you can get up. I mean, they could probably get some resources, but again, they're tiny islands. You're not getting shit over there.
I think of when I went to go see Captain America. Where
the HD version is out on my place where I get things, so I'll be watching that tonight.
Oh, what, Captain America? The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, I'll be watching it again.
That movie was good.
Yeah.
I'm actually want to go see Novocaine. I think that's what it's called. It's supposed to come out on the 17th of this month. You got Novocaine. You got Novocaine.
Is that a scary movie again?
No, it's not a scary movie.
Or a
This
thriller?
one, it's kind of like a action, funny type of movie. You should have saw the previews when you went to go see Captain
I
America.
probably did. I didn't. Really pay
If you want to, you could look that up. But it's called Novocaine. I think it's what it's called. And then you got. I'm going to go see The Woman in the Yard. That's a scary movie, which Jared's like, I will never do it.
Oh yeah, I did see this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said the woman in your free.
Yeah.
Just saying woman. I don't want. I'm not interested.
Then you got
Sounds good.
you got Venom 4 that's coming out in 2027.
Venom 4. I thought
Yeah,
they were. I thought
no,
they said that was
they're
the
not
last.
done.
I thought that was the last dance.
That's what we thought, but you saw how it ended.
Oh.
Venom for the Last Dance.
I'll be real. I think I can.
I actually liked it when I went to go see Venom, because then I decided to go
liked
back
it.
and watch the other two.
I liked it, but I just think I'm done with Venom. They didn't really do it justice.
Marvel and DC is finally starting to grow on me
No,
after
I don't know. I think Venom they didn't do justice because like when I was growing up and everybody was like really into comic books because this was around the time that X-Men was like super popular.
Yep.
Venom and Carnage and that whole series was out. So like for me, looking at those, just the graphics and reading some of the scenes, it's like the movies didn't do it justice, especially the Carnage. I don't think they did Carnage.
I had to go back and look at the comics for
I do it for everything.
For all the different Hulks because I totally forgot about Rage. I forgot about the Red Hulk. Totally forgot about him. I had to like literally go back and look at the comics for that one.
Yeah, with Venom and Carnage, to Jared's credit, they're really evil in Spider-Man. And I've only seen the first Venom movie. I didn't watch the second one. And
your boy Woody Harrelson, how you not see that?
I know.
I love Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, he's Carnage.
I know.
Oh.
What I was gonna say is that it just I thought the first movie was okay, but when they made the second one, I wasn't like excited for it. Therefore, I never saw it. Because you're right, like. I don't think they did like the characters justice in that sense.
I just rewatched it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't.
Yeah. It's not a horrible movie. I'm not by any means, but I just think for the characters, they were kind of toned a little bit. That's all. You know, if put it this way, if when you have like Deadpool in Wolverine,
yeah,
that
like, was so good.
It's like, hey, Wolverine has metal claws, let him rip shit apart, and we got to literally see him rip shit apart. Like that's who.
That just made me think about something.
Yeah,
you got to see Captain America.
Yes, you do. You do.
I've got. Okay.
Wait a minute, you didn't go with them when they went.
Of course not.
What the? Really, RJ? You should have went.
I did not.
And matter of fact, we were here doing the show.
Yeah.
And then they were saying, "Yeah, we're gonna go," and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm down," because I wanted to see it anyway. Because I wanted to support it. And he was like, "No, I'm just gonna stay in."
No, I said
it's literally right down the street.
I understand that. I'm chill.
That was crazy.
It's like, you know, because there's so many.
My bad. I'm kind of offended by the fact that you didn't go with us.
I just didn't feel like going.
That's like boys' night out, you know.
It's not. It's in like this. Part of the show, we go fucking watch movies and then we fucking talk about it.
I understand that. Had I known earlier in the day, probably, yeah. But I don't know. It was just being dropped on me. I was just like, I was already here. I'm comfortable.
Here he goes with the.
Oh God.
Hey, I'm just saying. Saturday night, I'm stoned out of my mind. You know.
You weren't comfortable. We were down here.
I mean, I'm comfortable in my house. I'm wearing my shorts and all that other stuff.
You didn't even have to get dressed up. All you had to do was put some fucking jeans on.
I didn't say I had to get dressed up. It had nothing to do with getting dressed or not wanting to go.
I know what it is,
guys.
but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to upset you.
Because we're back to doing our movie groups now. We originally, Cheeto was supposed to go with us, but he wasn't feeling good that night. Samantha was supposed to go, but she was not feeling good either. So it was just me and Paul that went to go watch the Captain America movie. But we talked about going to see this one, the Novocaine. We want to go see that scary movie. Then you got the new Karate Kid. Now, if you watch Cobra Kai, the last season that they did ties in with the movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. I just haven't. I'll tell you what. With Karate Kid or Cobra Kai, I got kind of bored with it after the original instructor. Like he went to jail.
Oh yeah.
Then I try to get into the next season. I don't know what season that is. Maybe it is the 6th season. But then I was just like, what are we doing? This is the same fucking shit over and over again. But
I don't know. But I'm still gonna go see the movie because
I'll wait on it.
I have support. Yeah. I mean, I support the fact that they are honoring Mr. Miyagi in it for one. And then you got the new, part 2 of the Mission Impossible that
I'm interested in.
I'm interested in seeing that. I'm interested in seeing F1.
Oh yeah,
I'm actually interested in seeing that one.
Kind of question, like the fact that you asked me that the other night. She was like, "Do you know they're coming out an F1 movie, right?" I'm like,
"Well, I don't. I didn't know.
I'll go see that with you.
Who the fuck do you think I am?
I'll go see
Why?
that with
Because
you.
Brad Pitt.
No.
Well, no, because it's F1, and if I don't see it with you, then I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, you'll never hear the end.
Oh yeah, you
Then
Jared would rip into you like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's like
Speaking of that, the new season of Drive to Survive is out. If anybody wants to watch that, I started watching it today, and I was like, wait, I fucking seen all this. I don't need the drama shit in between. That's for people who are casual fans and are trying to get into the sport. So I would recommend it for that type of person. But if you watch every fucking race and all the pre-shows and pretty much your entire fucking Instagram is whatever team or whatever driver, I don't know. I'm way too deep into it to enjoy that show anymore. Just because it's like, oh yeah, I already saw all this. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Now I am looking forward to the episode when Hamilton won Silverstone. That's gonna be a cool one because that was very emotional, even in the time when it was happening. Because he hadn't won a race in like 200 races or something.
Oh damn.
Or I don't know if it's 200.
Now
races,
I
but
would
it's 2 years
I
or
would love
something.
to go to a national games with y'all, but because I've been looking into the nationals games and I've been trying to look at the schedule this year.
I don't know. Ain't you a Philly fan or some shit?
No, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm actually
God, never mind.
So I'm looking forward to.
Might be even worse.
I'm looking forward. I've been trying to look at the schedule for when they play the O's this year. But I was also looking at the schedule for the Nationals because usually the Nationals will play the Reds, Cincinnati Reds, because that's Paul's team. So I've been looking to see when.
It's like it depends on the year because they only play them once, I think.
Yeah, so I've been looking.
Not one game, but one series.
Yeah, so I've been looking into that.
Actually, it might be two because I think one's here and then one's there.
Okay.
But it depends on the year, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, because the spring training's already started, so they're already.
Oh yeah, season starts
at the end of
March
the month.
27th.
Yeah.
Opening day.
Yeah. So I've been looking into that.
I haven't got my ticket yet. I need to get my ticket.
What is it?
I'm not counting on you.
Well,
RJ,
You got my number now, so
RJ's
you could text me.
I'm just saying, RJ's making these fucking faces over here like, look, you're just getting a ticket. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting a ticket, because I know I'm gonna go, and I will go. I will be on that motherfucking metro by myself if I have to.
and if you and
but
if
what
you
if
ever
you get kidnapped, Jared?
I won't.
What if somebody comes up and offers you candy?
How many people do you think I'm gonna probably see that I know? Every year I see like fucking 30 people that I know that's at the opening day.
Yeah, that one year we went, we saw everybody.
Yeah.
And we were trashed.
Yeah. You can't say that anymore, though.
I owe my
right,
16-year-old a baseball game because the last time I took her to the Nationals, those tickets were free, so I didn't buy the tickets.
Free tickets to a baseball game?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh, wow,
And
what a thing.
I think she was like, 7 or 8 years old when I took her, and it was when the game got rained out. And
That
my
could be any
my
game.
daughter,
you
my
can't top me and Jared's experience. We got shot at.
Well, we thought we were.
We thought we were getting shot
This
at.
is when Harper was still part of the Nationals.
I think he was still then. That was he still?
No. This was the year after they won was this the year after they won the World Series? Yeah, it was the year after they won the World Series.
Oh.
Yeah, because my daughter
Yes.
looks at me and she looks at the I guess the little truck they had outside, and they go, "Mama, who's Harper?" And I'm like, "Oh Lord, I have failed you as a mother." So I went into the shop and everything. I bought them the actual yearbook because they were interested in it, and they were watching it. We sat there and we waited for the game, and then the game got rained out, and we decided to go to Bowling Air Force Base because my friend was doing DJing and doing the Rockin' Bowl. So I took her bowling for that day. Until this day, I still owe them a baseball game because I took the oldest to a baseball game. So, I'm like, I got to find a game that looks interesting that they would like to go to.
I'll be. To be honest, if you don't go to games that often, the team really doesn't matter.
No, I don't think so.
It's
But I do want to,
especially if it's their first time, like actual first time going to a game, then the team won't matter. Like.
It's really about the all-American ballpark
Okay,
experience.
we're not doing
So
that.
I've been a Yankees fan.
I'm kind of over that whole thing too.
No, I'm fucking with you, Rob.
No, not so much you. I'm just saying, like, it's not. It's not America's pastime. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but
Come on in and get your free double EXP weekend.
I think we just need to get away. Plus, first of all, fucking Japan plays baseball. They have a league. Korea has leagues, and then you have all through Central and South. I don't know about South America, but Central America and the Caribbean. So
They got baseball teams now too. Yeah.
And that's where a lot of players come from, like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and where's another one? They get a lot out of Venezuela now. So it's everywhere. Why are you making that face?
Nothing. I'm trying not to laugh out loud.
Me being a Yankees fan is because my family on my mom's side immigrated from Puerto Rico to New York. So they all became New York.
I guess. However you want to justify that bullshit.
Shut up.
What's wrong with you?
But the interesting
your
part
last
was the
appearance on
first
this
time I
show.
ever got to finally watch them live, because I always watched them on the TV. The first time I actually got to watch them live
Well, why don't you take them to that?
was after me and Paul got married, and I wound up with a kidney infection. And he already bought the tickets. And I'm like, no, I am not missing this game. I sacrificed it all for the ball. I told him, I said, if I start feeling bad, I will go back to the hospital. Can you believe I actually went to the game, watched all 9 innings with a kidney infection, and I woke up Paul at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, take me back to the hospital.
Well,
It was bad, but I sacrificed all for the ball. All for the ball. Because it was nice watching them play. And they won that night, too. So
Let's
see what we got.
Dodgers
Got the
are
Pirates.
done April.
Oh, they play the O's this year, huh?
They play the O's every year.
Let's see.
Got the Philly. Oh, there's Cincinnati Reds right there.
Yeah, May.
Is any of them on a weekend or are they on a
Wait,
weekday?
that's Guardians. Where do you see the Reds at?
Oh, they're right there.
Sunday.
Oh.
Okay, Sunday, May 4th. Okay, I'll see how much the tickets are, and I'll try to get one for Paul.
Well, it's 3 games. There's
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
I have to probably do it Friday because Sundays he works.
Yeah, they play the Orioles twice. Once Baltimore, once here. I don't know. Everybody.
Remember the game on Super Nintendo? King Griffey Jr.
Probably.
Yeah.
The baseball game
yeah.
where when you used to get them the strikes and stuff, and they turn around to the screen and go, "Oh, come on!" You know, it used to make me laugh as a kid.
I had a lot.
I'm like, we need those games back. We need those games
I
back.
had a lot of baseball games throughout the year. I don't remember it specifically that one.
Shoot, I on my Nintendo Switch, I started playing Dr. Mario again.
Dr. Mario.
Oh, that was my shit. I used to
Dr.
play-
Mario.
Dr. Mario's low-key very
I had to
addicting.
beg my pops to get me that fucking game.
Mario 3, which I accidentally played my mom's file,
No,
and
it
my
was Mario 3 is the one I had to beg for.
Mario
Dr.
3?
Mario was a cheaper game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Mario 3, I would accidentally play my mom's file, and my mom would cuss me out as a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting yelled at by my mom because I played her file. You know, and like, we never played my mom's file after that. Me and my brothers left it alone. We left it alone.
They play the Yankees in August, but it's at the Yankees.
Yeah. They're not good.
God, then we'd have to go there, too.
That series switches back and forth. Next year it'll be here.
Yeah.
Unless it's still in here. No,
And
that
I'm
was
thinking,
in
I'm
here.
also thinking about getting, because there's a way of me getting free tickets to either free or discounted tickets for the Baltimore Aquarium, so I could take my son. I
the
wanna see how-
aquarium's cool, man.
Yeah, I want to see how he reacts, because like when I took my my daughters when they were young, my oldest, who's going to be 20 this month, first thing she said when we were in this one area of the aquarium, she yells out, this is when Nemo came out, and she goes, Nemo, and everybody started laughing.
Not Nemo.
And then we hold up my other daughter, because my other daughter looked like food, apparently, to this fish, because this fish kept on going like this to the glass, trying to go after my kid, and I'm like, oh, damn, okay.
Maybe the fish needed air.
Needed air or something. Shoot.
The long list of baseball schedule in front of us.
180 something games.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts, dude. Crazy work. And Ovi's, 10 goals away from tying
Yep.
Wayne Gretzky?
Well, as of yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing any concerts
That's
that I want to
fine.
go to
Breaking
yet
the
this
record.
year.
He's 10 from breaking it.
Oh, really?
10.
Yeah.
I could have sworn. Yeah, well, regardless, I know he's 10. I know the number is 10. I could have sworn it was 10. I could be wrong, obviously. But regardless, that's going to be super
just
cool.
happened. It happened the other night.
Yeah, I know, but obviously I might be getting confused somewhere with the knowledge that I think that I have. But regardless, that's going to be super, super fucking cool.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing any concerts I'm really interested into going to this year.
Wu-Tang.
Nah.
What do you mean?
I mean, I like country music, so I've been looking into the country music.
The last tour, and they're being in Baltimore in June 15th. I don't know if I want to spend $170 though.
Which Paul's still trying to figure out how in the hell, because he automatically stereotyped me when he first met me. He thought that I was into like the Spanish music and Asian music and all that stuff.
You
I
mean
was
like bachata? And merengue?
yeah, because of, and I'm
Salsa.
like, no. He's like, how did you get into country? I said, my high school sweetheart.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was a sophomore going into junior year when I got introduced to Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw. So I recently got to see Tim McGraw last year.
That's cool.
Live. So that was nice. I finally got to see him live. So that's interesting.
Here, let me ask you this. Just since you said you're like really into country music, and I'm just curious because, I briefly touched on it a few weeks ago. But what do you like Beyonce winning the country album of the year? What do you think about that? I'm just curious.
I call bullshit on that.
Okay, I'm just curious
because the thing is, I mean, I get it. Like Luke Bryan says, what makes you country type of thing. But when you got where your spouse is paying people off to play your music and not really.
Who said? Where's this information coming from?
What, that he paid them off?
Yes.
Oh, it's been popping up all over the place.
Like what's an actual source?
The internet. CMT. There's been a couple of country people that brought it up.
Let's look this up.
So
this sounds like, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like one of those. Well,
and I just
Trump said it's true, so
no, I don't listen to anything what that joker says.
Oh, I'm just saying that's how they. Well, look, this is what I heard. What was it?
Well, we gotta do.
And to clarify, I'm not losing sleep. I don't think about this, but since you're somebody who goes to country shows and things like that, I was just very curious as to what you thought about that, because I've only heard really that one popular song, and that was it. No, Beyonce did not buy her.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of stuff popping up with her husband and Diddy and all that stuff now. You never know now these days.
The only thing that is for sure that I know happened, that I know for sure happened is, he is getting sued by like some person that was saying that he
Graped them.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the word. When she was like 13 or something.
Yeah.
Now, he also denied it, and there's been no movement as far as I have heard on that case. So again, and this is another thing. Everybody keeps wanting to talk about fucking they love America and all this other shit, but guess what? Motherfuckers still have rights.
Yep.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter who the fuck you are. Well,
but then when
some people don't believe in the 13th Amendment and,
no, they
and
don't.
the 19th Amendment, but again, that's a certain type of person that they're scared that they're losing. They're losing. And because they're not having as many babies. Nobody's having a lot of babies in America anymore.
No.
But they're not having as many. Because I saw this perfect perspective from this lady. She wrote a book on cults, and she was saying how she grew up in some cult, like religious cult, and then she went into the military. She was an intelligence officer in the Army. She wrote about how that's also a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's been talking on a lot of her stuff as far as like what the fact that like white women are for the first time like pushing back. So that's why all these incels, like they're like, oh well, no, like fuck these women, this, that, and the other thing, because they're not giving them like the babies because they're running out of white male babies. And no offense,
I don't give a fuck.
but
Because I'm guaranteeing RGA is not completely wholly 100%
But
white.
like they want, well, yeah, I wouldn't totally consider Italian. Actually, it wasn't considered white in this country
Nope.
for a long time. But because they knew they needed more numbers, again, it comes down to how many numbers they have.
Because they're the minority now.
Yeah. So when it came time for them to further put black folks down in this country, which like Jim Crow and stuff and all that, like that's when they were like, okay, well, you know what? You guys, the Italians and the Irish, are now white.
They actually
They didn't
Puerto
consider
Ricans
them
white.
before. Well, I don't know.
They try to do that, but I'm like, what? How?
But
Okay.
Yeah. I
so
mean,
damn, I forgot what I was going to say. I had another point to that, but go ahead.
No. I was kind of going off of what you were saying. The whole, I mean, what you're saying makes 100% sense. I don't look into shit like that, man. And
I mean, you got to know the history. That's what I'm saying. Like, what I think people, I don't look into that. And I don't say you got to look into politics. You don't got to be into politics.
No.
But you still got to look at the history of how things became the way they are. To kind of hopefully avoid it, which there's a lot of similarities going on. And it's funny because remember that thing I told you I watched on Hitler? There's a documentary where it was like,
is this when we were looking at his paintings and shit like that? Was this
around that time?
Yeah, he had like a bunch of as crazy as sound, incredible paintings.
But it was I don't want to buy incredible.
Well, they were very for
they were
the
mediocre.
evil acts that he did. I was just very shocked that he was an artist. That's all.
Well, that was all before
I
he
know
became who he was. Because somebody told him he wasn't good enough, and so he was like, "Well, fuck
I'm just
that."
going to burn the world down.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying.
I am.
So the whole I wasn't being funny. I was just trying to get this point out. When I was watching that documentary, it was funny that I started watching it at the time that I did. Like, this was before the elections and everything. And then I was just like, okay, this is interesting. And, I didn't know that. Because it's new footage on the Nuremberg trials.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and they colorize. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
I forgot the name of it. But they colorized it, and then they put it together, and then they talk about, like the whole thing of how he was a good speaker and very charismatic, and he started to get these people on his side. But then once he got to a certain level, then he starts, all right, well, we're going to burn these books because it doesn't fucking line up with what I'm trying to push on these people to gain more power.
That's what they're doing.
And what do you think they're doing? They're kicking fucking press out of fucking the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Fucking the AP, like Associated Press. Like, trying to continue getting rid of the Department of Education. That shit's coming up soon. Yeah. Like, what? Oh, we want to put it back in charge of the states. Well, the states are still in charge of the fucking curriculum, because why do you think there's that big battle in Florida about CRT, critical race theory stuff, or just having DEI in textbooks? They don't want to fucking talk about that stuff anymore.
They want to take away the books that talk about Martin Luther King, the books that talk about Native Americans. They want to take away all that stuff. So, when they want to say that they want it in control of all the state, the state takes care of control of their, their own Department of Education. For what I'm seeing, they're doing what they're doing because everyone's doing their own thing.
Most of the states,
unless they want every state to be the same thing.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's their argument for getting rid of the Department of Education. They want the states to control everything, and they're trying to find cuts so they can. They're saying they're trying to save the American taxpayer money, but are we? Because now you're taking away resources from people who wouldn't otherwise have it. That's the other thing. That's the other side of it. Well, these people are getting too much education. We want to keep them dumb, so we're not going to pay for them to get fucking shit anymore. Because the amount of shit that I see people saying, it's like, if you just did 1 ounce of research. And they always want to say, do your own research, do your research. Like, I mean, that's fine to say do your research, but are you vetting the sources before you start spewing this bullshit? Not to pick on you, but like, quick Google search and no, they now there could come out later that he paid for it or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think what people realize this is where this came out with the Drake stuff, Drake and Kendrick. Like that's why he sued Universal Music Group.
Did he also sue the Grammys or something because of the?
I don't know if that part came through yet, but for sure he Universal Music Group trying to say that they took money from Kendrick and them to boost his streaming and for Not Like Us and all that stuff.
Oh, geez.
That's what the lawsuit was for.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't about defamation or anything. Like, so you're not going to deny the fact that you were called the P word, but you're going to be like, oh, well, y'all are boosting his numbers up, which the entire industry does that. That's how they make stars. They you got enough money and you know this person's going to sell something.
Yep.
What's the record label going to do? They're going to pay to try to get that shit on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Now it's Spotify and all that shit. So I don't know. Everybody's paying for shit in the music industry. So like, I don't
music
know.
industry, the comedy industry, movie industry,
I
everything.
I'm not sure about comedy.
You know, no,
Can't really pay.
no, you
to
can't.
get to the
no,
stop
you
button
can't.
either.
You can't. You know, I need to go back and really watch Cat Williams, his last stand up that he did when he had the president's desk and all that stuff in the back. There's a lot of stuff that he talked about, and I have to go back and watch it but there's one I did sit and watch was he's part of the Blue Collar Tour, Bill Engvall, where he did his retirement tour, and it sucks because I missed him when he came out here, but for his retirement tour. But I was able to watch it on, I think it was Paramount Plus or Max, either one of those. No, sorry, it was on Amazon Prime. I sat there and I was watching and I was laughing at it and everything, and there was a lot of stuff that I could actually relate to that he talks about, to the point where I actually came up with a joke that I'm going to work on a little bit. You know, how like when a guy goes to the bathroom, we know what you guys are doing. You're standing there, you're holding something, you're peeing. If you're sitting down, you're doing your business there. But when it comes for us women, and we got that bathroom door wide open, and we're sitting there, you don't know what we're doing. So you're like, if you're doing number 2, you better have that Game Boy there. But technically now that it's to the point where we bring in our cell phones for both. Now they say, so you're not going to know what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. I'm not bringing up my cell phone for a pee because I'm not in there long enough.
Or how about one of those days where you forget your cell phone and you got to do number 2? You got to find something in the bathroom to read. You go back to what it used to be back in the 90s, just taking the, the drink and you just, reading what's in the ingredients.
Don't forget mine. Don't ever forget mine.
What?
My phone. I don't ever forget mine.
I forgot my phone twice. And then there was one time I got hospitalized and I woke up the next morning and I guess apparently I broke the screen to my phone, and I'm like, how the fuck did I did this? It must have been when I rolled over in my sleep and crushed it, which sucked because I really liked that phone. But now T-Mobile tried to offer me a new watch because there's a new deal that's going on because I upgraded my.
Oh, careful with those watches.
Which one?
Turns out all of them. Turns out those bands have been seeping cancerous.
I changed mine.
I'm just saying, like, they say even some of the other, like any of the ones that you can get. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go super deep into it, but they're saying
I gotta research that one.
Yeah.
I heard something about that, but
I just saw it today. And then man, that's in everything though, because there was another one where they found carcinogens in synthetic hair, like when black people or just people in general, they get like braids or whatever. Mm. They found carcinogens in the hair that they use, which is scary because people have been using that shit for years,
long time, years. Yep. Yeah. Shoot.
Yep. Bang bang. Pow. No, let me stop. That was a bit excessive, don't you think?
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
And neither should any of you. But what you shall listen to, what you shall hear and understand is that you can catch us anywhere you get your podcasts. That is Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. every Monday at 9 a.m. sharp for the visual on YouTube, and every Saturday around 6:30 p.m. ish live here on Twitch. And Christina,
An hour? What am I supposed to do with the mad scientist for an hour?
I don't know, tamper in God's domain.
that's right.
I actually like that new sound you guys came up with. I like that.
No, Jared came up with it because I am useless. And so, thanks for coming over.
I don't care about this shit though, dude.
He cares more than you know. No, but thank you for allowing us to be a part of your TikTok stream and anybody that joined. Thanks
Oh, I
for.
forgot they were there.
He was a fat Faison liar.
They can't hear that. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably good. Well, that's good. That's bad.
Well, if they're watching on Twitch, because they can go on Twitch and look, because I put in the description of what to look for.
No, yeah, but thank you. But thank you for coming over. It's a joy having you as always.
I actually like the fact that I'm here by myself. And
Paul.
Because
not with
don't
the
get
old,
me wrong.
not with the old ball and chain.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't
Paul
mind.
anyway.
I don't mind it. But the thing is, it's like last 2 times we were here, he was quiet, and I'm looking at him like, "Don't you talk? Come on!" I said, "You can't just talk to me in the house because he talks to me all the time in the house."
Well, he can come over by himself, and it can just be.
if you could get him to talk by himself without me being here, please do.
we can.
Please do.
We'll just have to get heavily intoxicated.
I mean, it's
RJ,
already
stop. You don't drink anymore.
I mean, it's already to the point, like, like I said, with me having lupus, that's one of the jokes I got now, because with poor circulation in my feet and my hands, cold hands, straight to the balls, feet to the butt, to the back.
Cold hands to your balls, something that no man ever wants to hear. We will see you guys next week for a wonderful episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Your presumption is correct, nigga.
Peace.
Hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The mad scientist lab. The mad scientist lab. The mad scientist lab. The mad scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The mad scientist lab.